foremost, my numbers are better than 15, 16 or so guys that are currently in the Hall.
Here's the handoff to Taylor, looking for some cutback. He finds some room, looking at Fred go. He's across the 30, look at him run. Fred's going. He's at the 50, the 40.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
20, 10, 5, touchdown. 80 yards, Fred Taylor.
Talking modern day guys at my position.
When my name come up, respect. Stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna right on it.
And here's the handoff to Fred looking for the cutback. He's got room on middle 10. Fred's there. He's at the 20. Fred's on the run to the 25 and the 30. He's going 40. Fred 50. Fred 40. Fred 30. Fred 25, 20.
Y'all saying my name, put some respect on.
You look at the guys that are in the Hall of Fame from a defensive standpoint. Ray Lewis, Derrick Brooks. Look at all these other guys they're trying to put in the Hall of Fame.
Gerard on the give. Here's Taylor.
Put some respect.
Busting through. Fred Taylor making the cut. Taylor is gone. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
These the same dudes that I murked every Sunday.
When my name come up, respect. Stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna right on it.
But he knows he doesn't have a big play team, and Jacksonville does.
Draw play. Taylor skips 2 tackles. Right, and here we go.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Brock Marion chasing. Brock Marion still chasing. Gets help from Smith. Touchdown. No flags. A 90-yard run.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, everybody, welcome in. Jaguars Today off and rolling on this Wednesday, mid-June, as got a little while before the Jaguars are back on the field. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you. Tony, how embarrassing we've worn the same shirt today.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people are wearing this shirt today. We're doing some filming today after the show of various things that people may see in the future. But, yes, we wore our favorite. You went with the pants today, huh?
I did.
I'm sticking with the shorts, man. I'm not going to try to pretend like I'm anybody else. It's a shorts wearing life for me. Mm-hmm. That's what it is right now. Bro, I got that 6-mile walk in yesterday at about 1:15 in the afternoon. I would say it wasn't as hot. I think the day before was hotter, but we've officially reached sizzling portions of
sure.
the summer, and the summer's not officially here yet for a few more days. So, congratulations to us. Denmark, you get your bucket of balls in last night?
Man, it was pouring rain at like 8:30 on the west side. So I was like, nah, I'll wait till tomorrow.
You just passed on that opportunity.
Yeah, so I did a couple laps around the house.
You like to go at night, huh? To the range?
Well, I go off at 8 o'clock whenever.
Range is open till what time for you?
About 9 o'clock-ish.
Okay.
Sometimes they open it till like 9:15.
So you have time to like make it there and get your
I get there about
8:15,
8:20, and then I could swing the bucket about 30 minutes.
High quality, just race through that bucket as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. All right, everything good in your world though?
Yeah, I was watching a documentary on there's a new one on Netflix about bin Laden, and then the nightcap. When I got home after the show, I was watching the ESPN 30 for 30 with the whole everything that happened in the sports world from June 17th and whatever was it 94.
Yeah, we were mentioning that yesterday with OJ and the White Bronco chase.
That, and you had the Knicks, and then I forgot about the Rangers had the parade,
yep.
And you had the World Cup. I was like, man, I missed out so much on life. I was born in the wrong generation.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's if it weren't for the OJ White Bronco chase, Tony, we wouldn't remember that day as anything particular for anything. But that, I mean,
it's that all those things happened while the OJ thing was happening.
Right.
Like, that's the story.
It really was the breaking in on the NBA finals that really cemented it. But we'd still remember the OJ White Bronco chase.
Yeah.
I think even
regardless of when it happened.
Right. It could have been like the Tuesday or the Monday before the All-Star Tuesday, right? With maybe home run dirt, nothing going on, or the day after the All-Star game. We'd still remember it very vividly, I think. Very vivid. Tony, I went to CBS Sports today. I like to, peruse all the majors out there, ESPN, SI, whatever. We're always checking on a daily basis to see what's being said about our Jacksonville Jaguars. And lo and behold, I'm greeted with Trevor Lawrence's face right there, as they'd say in the papers, above the fold, right there at the top. And I'm like, this is going to be great. I know Prisco's got his top 100 players. Oh, wait a minute. This is not having to do with Prisco's article. Prisco's top 100 NFL players we'll get to here in a moment. But Trevor Lawrence says, photo accompanying the headline, these 9 players are on bust alert for the National Football League. And lucky us, not only do we have Trevor Lawrence on the list, Tone.
Oh.
We got Travis Etienne on the list as well. So we got
Spoiled
2 of the 9.
Options, yeah.
My gosh, we'll go through that a little bit later on. Look, I get it. A lot was expected of Trevor Lawrence. The generational label is probably one of the worst things that could have happened to him coming into the league, right? I think if you describe it as generational talent, I think if you talked about the physical attributes that he brings, the stature, the arm strength, the athleticism, all that combined, then, yeah, you could say he's more closer to generational in terms of when you're building a quarterback together. Obviously, the results have been nothing close to generational at the NFL level so far. But we'll get into that. He did not make Prisco's top 100. A couple of Jags are in there, the ones you would expect, Brian Thomas Jr. and Josh Hines-Allen. And all of those players are kind of a part of today's question of the day for Jaguars Today, presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. Tone, we're going to look back at some of the single-season high watermarks in franchise history and which one of those records is most likely to fall in 2025. And it's fascinating to me. This often happens, but really seeing this starkly today in some of the responses. Some people just click a poll, and that's fine, and we appreciate you taking the time to do that. Some people then will click it and reply and try to argue their case. And I've seen, it's definitely this. Or it's definitely this, or clearly the most likely to happen is this. So either we've got a great chance to break a bunch of records, or people's approach to this question is coming at it from a lot different perspectives. But we're asking you today, which of these Jacksonville Jaguars single-season individual records is the most likely to be broken this upcoming season? Touchdown passes, got 35. From Blake Bortles in 2015. Trevor Lawrence second on the single-season list with 25. But we also remember, as we pointed out many times this offseason, Liam Cohen gets to Tampa last year. Baker Mayfield's previous career best was 28 touchdown passes in a season. He threw 41 last year. So, we're counting on growth from Liam Cohen. Trevor's got to stay healthy as well. How about touchdown receptions? Well, they didn't figure out until maybe 2/3 of the way into the season we need to force feed this ball to Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
He scored 5 of his 10 touchdowns down the stretch. He did have 10 as a rookie. Didn't have that season-long consistency. 14 is the mark by Allen Robinson, same season that Bortles threw the 35. What about sacks? Josh Hines-Allen said it just 2 years ago with 17.5. Calais Campbell had, 14.5, I think, in 2017, right? Yeah. Second best mark for the Jags. Of course, Allen fell off to less than half that total last year. So what about sacks? You'd need 18 to break the mark. Or defensive interceptions. One defender picking off more than 8 passes for the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. Rashean Mathis is the only one with 8. I think Aaron Beasley had 6, Tone, back in 99. And I think a bunch of guys have had 4 in a season for the Jaguars. But it's not been a mark that's been challenged, really, since Rashean put it out there at 8 early in his career. So which of those marks do you think is most likely to fall for the Jacksonville Jaguars this year? We'll get into that throughout the course of the day. Looking at Pete Prisco's Jacksonville Jaguar rankings, Tony, you noted it first, and kudos to Pete. Not that he has Brian Thomas at 44, which, Pete's been very bullish on him turning into a full-blown NFL star. He says, well, the Travis Hunter talk, people forget how dominant Thomas was as a rookie for a bad offense. With Hunter on the opposite side and Trevor Lawrence healthy, he can be even better. But the beauty of it is one spot ahead of Malik Neighbors, right? I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors had more catches, but the yards per catch, I mean, Brian Thomas on a per-catch basis, first, the yardage tops him. On fewer catches, he was more explosive. Quarterback situations, neither one was ideal for either one of these guys. I think most people coming out of that class are going to take Malik Neighbors. because most people rank Malik Neighbors as a better player coming in.
Yeah. Anyone who's putting together these kind of lists, the list that you'll see of wide receivers ranked, a top 100, and these will be coming out here over the off time. We'll see a bunch of these kinds of lists get done in a bunch of different places, and almost all of them will have Malik Neighbors somewhere ahead of Brian Thomas Jr.
Absolutely.
And that's fine. Like, I understand the reasons why they would have it. I think it's really close between the two of them. As I said when I came in and mentioned it, having looked at the Prisco thing, a tip of the cap to Prisco for having him one spot ahead of him. Even if it is just an acknowledgement from a guy who's been in Jacksonville forever of what Brian Thomas Jr. did last year, I don't expect maybe any other site to have Brian Thomas Jr. ahead of Malik Neighbors, and anyone who did, I'd be like, good for them.
Yeah.
They're not wrong for having BTJ ahead of Neighbors, and you're not wrong for having Neighbors ahead of BTJ.
Yeah, if you're going to rank BTJ based on the rookie year stats, then right. I think it's fair to put him ahead there. If you say, okay, they were both really good as rookies, which they were. They were. By the way. And I had Neighbors considered to be a better talent coming in. I don't, you're right. I don't have a big issue with that. But I think, last year, everyone's, it's Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors and Rome Odunze clearly the top three. Well, you're not going to find Harrison and Odunze on any top 100 lists right now. And I think by putting Brian Thomas ahead of Malik Neighbors, what that forces a lot of people to do is admit, well, we were completely wrong about our wide receiver rankings going into the draft last year.
He wasn't fourth.
Right. He definitely wasn't fourth.
The argument is, is he one or is he two?
Is he the top guy in the whole thing? I don't think Xavier Worthy made the top 100, and I know Keon Coleman. I mean, all the first-round guys, it's Neighbors and Thomas and Neighbors. Pete had Josh Hines-Allen at 76 on his ranking. He had him at 23 last year, coming off the 17.5 sack season. Pete was probably more bullish on him than anybody. Pete tends to give the Jags more credit than most out there, in part because he actually follows them. But wrote his sack number went from 17.5 to 8. But there are reasons for it. Asked to gain weight, slowed him down some. Now with a new staff, he's back down in weight and should be more explosive again. Will he break his own record this year? You can vote on the record that is most likely to fall. It's your Chad and Sandy real estate question today. And we'll take each one of these marks and kind of debate what it would take to break that mark and how likely that is and how impressive that mark is and how long-standing it figures to be with the Jacksonville Jaguar record book. Touchdown passes, touchdown receptions, sacks, or defensive interceptions. Which single-season mark is most likely to fall in 2025 for your Jaguars? If you want to be a part of the conversation today, as always, 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Same number for the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Hop in the YouTube virtual studio chat and post some thoughts and questions or ideas and musings there if you like, or just hop on social media and give us your interaction that way at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
As they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
Congrats to the Florida Panthers, apparently.
Yeah.
Found out this morning that they're two-time Stanley Cup champions.
Dynasty.
Definitely. Did you watch the game last night?
I watched a couple minutes.
Okay, because I felt like you were getting a little bit more into the postseason of hockey.
I was. I mean, considering that I've never watched it, and then I watched probably about 2 hours of it. Yeah, it's a lot more than.
All right, that's 2 hours more than I watched this postseason. Again, I'm not hating on it. Postseason hockey is tremendous. I just don't have the bandwidth for it right now. We don't talk about it on the air. I'll acknowledge, hey, team from Florida won the Stanley Cup. Good for them. I don't have anything against Florida Panthers. I don't have anything particularly for the Florida Panthers either. So it's over. Honestly, today I had to check. Did they play Game 6 last night in the end? No. Oh, that's tomorrow. I mean, or is that tonight? Yeah, I knew it wasn't last night. It was it coming up tonight? It's actually coming up tomorrow. So anyway, our focus right here on your Jacksonville Jaguars. Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey. Keep it right here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. I live on a golf course. It can be a hazard. Flying objects. Look out. One came crashing into my living room just a few years back, and it was time. It kind of was the impetus for me to assess my home, Get all new windows, got a new sliding glass door, and everything looks fantastic because I went with Pella Windows and Doors, Consumer Reports' #1 choice in all the major window categories. Right now, 0% financing for 5 years with Pella Windows and Doors. Stop by their showroom on Phillips Highway or just schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Who is this hot mess?
It's Dan Hicken.
Don't tell me you've never heard of me.
The world's biggest windbag?
Jeff Prosser.
Everybody calls me Psycho.
Together they are The Drill.
Hollywood, Hollywood, you're gone Hollywood and we ain't even there yet.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here, and you know I'm going to talk about skin. Yeah, it's hot outside, folks. The oven is on. Temps are in the 90s, and it's only getting hotter. I love the summer, but my skin doesn't. I do my best with dry fit shirts, big floppy hats, plenty of water. My secret weapon, though, the sunscreen. I use it regularly. Maybe you should as well. Look, I've also been seeing docs at Peaches Dermatology for years, and my skin thanks me for it. I'm telling you, it could save your life. Book your appointment today at PeachesDermatology.com.
It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take on the first-place Steam Wheelers. Catch all the action this Saturday, June 21st at 7. Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Try the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700.
Prosser here, and your Jacksonville Sharks are in the playoff hunt. They smell blood in the water as the Sharks take on the first place Steam Wheelers. Don't miss any of the action this Saturday, June 21st, 7 o'clock. Discover the thrill of indoor football. Fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Try our new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for only $100. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700.
Go Sharks!
She's very comfortable talking sports and hanging out with the boys.
Mia O'Brien here, still providing the best multimedia sports coverage in Northeast Florida on 1010XL radio, video, and social channels.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
How much do the performers for Super Bowl halftime shows get paid?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Super Bowl performers are not paid for their shows, but production costs are covered by the NFL, which could go as high as $15 million.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
This is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about being a godly example. Every day, we're setting an example in our words and actions. And many times, we can act one way in one setting and then totally different in another setting. My encouragement for you is to not send out mixed messages. God is depending on you to set the example in people's lives.
You don't know, but you may be the only Bible that someone ever sees today.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Man, don't let your yard be torn up by that heavy aeration machine this spring. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to learn more about our granular aeration. Broadcast throughout the tree and shrubs to break up that compacted soil. Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
It's the NBA playoffs, and Hurricane Grill and Wings has slam dunk specials like $3.75 Miller Lite drafts with 30 bold wing flavors, ice cold drinks, handcrafted cocktails, and big screens everywhere. Find your spot at HurricaneWings.com.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. Happy Wednesday to all of you coming up. Tone, I'm out next week. Then we got a short week the week after that. Then you're on vacation after that. And then maybe I am after that. So then it's that time of year. Denmark, he's heading out to Denver.
Yes, sir.
You were very much on Ohtani watch last night.
Man, right? I was about to start fighting some people in San Diego. I was not... He hit his knee. I'm like, dog, this is not about to happen.
He struck out 4 times, but he got hit in the knee. And you're hopeful to catch him pitching against the Rockies.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting when I'm flying out Wednesday morning next week that he's going to pitch on Wednesday. But, you're hopeful that he can pitch on Tuesday, the game that I'm planning to go to.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Would you change your plans, or you have the itinerary pretty locked in?
My flights are locked in.
What are you doing other than going to see a baseball game?
Casino, and I'm seeing David Tell Saturday night.
Okay, yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah,
one. Right.
And then we're gonna go on a mountain. We're going mountain hiking on one day. So I don't.
Good. Yeah. It's nice that you're going to see a baseball game, Tone, but you could have. This could have been a vacation in Milwaukee and Cincinnati, and I'm going to a casino and I'm going to a ball game. Okay, there are a lot of places that would check the boxes on that these days. So, all right, happy to hear you take advantage of a little mountain hike. I love hiking, man, because I'm an old guy. It's what I like to do. Be out there and be one with nature. All right, Tony, we're going to get into these records that we're talking about today. And the first one is touchdown passes. Trevor Lawrence is the second most prolific touchdown tosser in a single season for the Jaguars. But that number is 10 shy of the record. Blake Bortles had an outlier season for the Jags when he threw 35 in 2015. No one's been within 9 of that before or since. So 25 by Trevor, next best. Mark mentioned he is kind of the face of the Cody Benjamin bust alert article. I don't think that's unfair. You're kind of like, all right, Trevor, there are a lot of reasons, excuses, reasons, whatever, why you failed to live up to your lofty expectations up to this point. You've had some peak times, but you haven't consistently been that guy. But what are your excuses now? You got Liam Cohen. You hopefully have an improved offensive line. You added Travis Hunter to Brian Thomas, so you've got a couple of outside weapons. Obviously, it takes more than just that, but that's a pretty good start. Here's what he said about Lawrence. Said, technically speaking, he has all the Jaguars' trust, inking a massive $275 million contract extension prior to 2024. Of course, that was with a different regime. He's already on his third head coach, however, which speaks as much to his uneven growth as the team's greater dysfunction. Well, the first coach had nothing to do with Trevor Lawrence. The first coach was a moral abomination that needed to get run out of Jacksonville and should have never been in Jacksonville. So I'm not blaming Urban Miller's decline on Trevor Lawrence. Now, I'm not saying that, who knows what would have happened in 22 if Urban Meyer was back with this team? Would he have
I agree with Urban.
stuck in neutral? God, done without that. The tools are there, continues Cody Benjamin, but Lawrence enters 2025 as the league's leader in turnovers since he stepped on an NFL field. By the way, the guy who's the closest comparison in that category is Josh Allen, who, by the way, not our Josh Hines Allen, obviously, but the Bills' Josh Allen, who people are now asking, is he the best quarterback in the National Football League? You can turn the ball over, Tone, if you offset it with high-level production in terms of touchdowns, yardage, and obviously wins along the way.
Yeah, look, that's long been a thing. If you're winning, who cares? You know, like all the other stuff, who cares? Like, you're turning the ball over a bunch. Is the team winning? It's not stopping the Bills from winning football games, right? Like Josh Allen with the turnovers that he's had here in recent years. He's been that kind of guy since he got into the league, and it's gotten a little bit better. It feels like last year was better, but he's still not a guy who protects the football all that well. That's okay. If they're going to keep winning double-digit games every year, you deal with it, right? If you're a Bills fan, Trevor had the 1 year where whatever the turnovers were, you can kind of live with it. And every other year, it's been like, it's got to stop. It's preventing, especially last season when virtually every game they play is a one-score game. You know, a turnover in that game is likely the difference in the game, right? Winning and losing when you're playing week after week, that kind of football game, you just can't afford to have any of the turnovers. So, yeah, they're a lot more glaring with Trevor than they have been with Josh.
All right, so give me a rough percentage estimate on the chance for Trevor Lawrence to throw 36 touchdowns this season, therefore breaking the Blake Bortles mark. And again, doesn't mean any of these are guaranteed to happen. We're just asking today which one is the most likely to happen if one of them is going to be topped, one of these single-season marks. What percent would you put on Trevor throwing 36 touchdowns this year?
I'd say 20.
20, okay.
I was thinking like 15.
I think I'd be more inclined to go with Dylan, like on 20. Like my initial, I'm thinking like, well, 25 is high. But again, he should be coming into his athletic prime. There are a lot of conditions there. I think if the mix in the Petri dish works out, there's a chance that this happens. Yeah, I'd put this in the 20%-ish.
You know how many quarterbacks threw 35 last year?
2.
5.
Okay.
Sam Darnold, Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, Baker, Joe Burrow.
Okay.
And then there was a gap, and then Bo Nix had 29.
Okay. I mean, look, I would be happy with 29-30.
I mean, those top 5 guys were all playing at an elite level like the whole year. So, I mean, that's kind of what you have to do, it feels like, to get that 35.
Well, you got to be available the whole year. Trevor missed 7 games, right? I mean, that's a factor, right? This is not a team mark. This is an individual record. Nick Mullins not coming off the bench to throw 36 touchdowns this year, right? So, it's Trevor or bust. 15 to 20. I think 1 out of 5 chance. That might even be a little bit aggressive, considering this franchise has only had one guy throw more than 25 in its history. But again, what happened in 2014 or 2003? What bearing does that have on today's Jaguars? It shouldn't have any.
Right. And looking at this kind of number historically, there's been 52 seasons by quarterbacks in the NFL where they've thrown 36 or more touchdown passes. And it's interesting when you look at the history of it because they're virtually all modern. Virtually all of them are modern. Y.A. Tittle threw for 36 in 1963. George Blanda threw for 36 in 1961. You had 1 year with Favre, 95. He threw for 38. You had Marino for a couple of years where, he had 48 in one of those seasons. He had 44 in another. So that's 5 of those seasons. The rest of the seasons were the greatest show on turf or beyond. In NFL, like this is a new NFL kind of number. Like 35 being in people's heads, that's the modern NFL.
But we're playing in the modern NFL.
It is the modern NFL. More than any of the other 3 numbers that we're even talking about today, like the interception one especially, that is an old NFL kind of number, right? Like having a guy in a season that has 9+ interceptions, that's old school NFL.
Doesn't happen that often.
Right. Like this is just not something that happens in today's NFL basically ever. Like it'll happen with one guy.
Travian Diggs did it.
Like every couple of years, you'll have one guy that'll hit those kind of numbers. It's not all that common for it to happen in the modern NFL. But in today's NFL, there are going to be quarterbacks every year that basically throw around that kind of number. But it is like that is Trevor's playing in the modern NFL. So it's a different measurement.
Yeah, Trevon Diggs had 11 interceptions in 2021.
Yeah.
But not that. There are only, how many Jaguars have more than 15 in their career, Tone?
3.
1. Rasheen. That's it. Okay? So I think that's going to be a tough one, but we'll get to that one as we go along today. So let us know what you think on this. Which of these Jaguars single-season individual records most likely to fall in 2025? We put it somewhere between 15 and 20% chance that Trevor Lawrence breaks the touchdown passing mark. I don't know. That may be aggressive. But again, a lot of factors have to go into this, including him staying on the field this year. Right now, that is the leading vote-getting option with 44% of the vote going in that direction. So we'll see how it all shakes out over the course of the next 24 hours. When we come back, let's look at Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, or anyone else's chance to go north of 14 touchdown receptions. You would figure Brian Thomas, the most likely guy to do that. Pete Prisco's number 44 player in the National Football League, by the way, if you're checking out that top 100 player article that he posted yesterday afternoon. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. We continue the Jaguar talk on the other side. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Now, another classic moment in Jags history. 1010XL.
Just when you thought we couldn't bring you more, Keon Atlantic is here with a brand new store. We have the same great team to treat you well, with new savings during our grand opening sale. Keon Atlantic is here with the new store. Shop our best offers and largest selection yet. Save big during our grand opening sale. Is there something for everyone on our lot? You bet. If you're ready to experience something new, the all-new Keon Atlantic is ready for you. Your perfect ride is a visit away. Online at KeonAtlantic.com. Keon Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection.
Mia here for Closets by Design. It's been a few months since they built my custom closet, and you know how much I love it. My family is obsessed. With summer here, why not finally create that custom garage workspace you and your dad want? Think tool storage, workbenches, a place for everything to go. Closets by Design creates custom solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. That includes all you guys. Call to schedule your free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. ClosetsByDesign.com.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
Hey, this is Coach Jason Gibson of your Jacksonville Sharks. I know the importance of a strong game plan, and that's exactly what I've got with Clay Solar Installation Partners. They did the install of the solar panels at my house, and I couldn't be happier. Lower energy bills, clean power, and a winning team that made the whole process easy. If you're looking to save money and go solar, trust the pros at Clay Solar. Call Karen at Clay Solar today and tell them that Coach Gibson sent you.
Yo, E.T. here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at ExploreClay.com. That's ExploreClay.com.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. The 4th is a few weeks away, and I know what you're thinking. I can't start a Wake 180 weight loss because I want to eat on that long 4th of July weekend. Well, guess what? You can eat hamburgers on a Wake 180 weight loss. You can eat chicken, steak, or pork, too. You can even eat lobster because you're eating real food and losing weight. More important, it's fast, easy, and safe. No chemical shots into your body, no counting calories or points or any other fad diet. I can't stress this enough. You eat real food every single day. You know what else you're doing while losing weight with the Wake 180? You're eliminating pain, fitting into clothes you haven't worn in years, sleeping through the night and waking up refreshed and energized and happy. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on a Wake 180. Hacker lost more than 110 over the course of a year. You can lose whatever you want, whatever your goal weight is. The Wake 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely by eating real food every single day. A Wake 180 weight loss is the clear path to success without disappointment. Give them a call, 844-346-1800 or online at awake180weightloss.com.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, wants to make your flight in and out of Jax a fun one. Stop by Vino Volo in the airport and enjoy 2 signature brackish cocktails. Vino Volo has amazing food and cocktails before your flight. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka and made right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Brackish Vodka for whatever your sport is. If your sport is flying, your vodka is Brackish, proud partner of the Jaguars.
If you're 35 to 75, you could get life insurance today. No medical exam needed. I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial. One call could protect your family for life. Call me today, 904-885-9566.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, we continue along. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark here with you. Jaguars Today, 1010XL, 92.5 FM, weighing in on records that could fall for the Jaguars this year. This is not the full extent of them, but we try to pick some obvious ones out there. Dylan dug up this from Warren Sharp at Sharp Football, Tony. This is 2024 record of teams if games ended after the third quarter. Okay, the Jaguars won 4 games last year. Had they cut games short after 3 quarters, they would have picked up 3 additional victories. So that alone, closing games in which you already have the lead heading into the fourth quarter, you just tighten up that one aspect and you almost double your win total from 2024. Now, it's not a guarantee that everything's going to play out the same way, but you would hope, you know, if you got better coaching and hopefully better talent, that you're paying Liam Cohen all those millions of dollars for something here. It's to get Trevor Lawrence on track, but to really get this offense going. And what do they talk about when they talk about FAST? The S stands for situational masters. That's situational football. When you've got the lead in the fourth quarter, knowing how to protect it, knowing how to run the ball or being able to run the ball. It's not knowing how. It's being able to run the ball.
Yeah.
go a long way towards tightening up that mark in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think it can tell you something about the football team when you see a stat like that. And yeah, the Jags improve by 3 games. I think it's interesting, Kansas City specifically in there, 10-6-1, right? They finished 15-2, right? They were a closer.
Yeah.
Like with everything that happened with they were a closer. Like that's a team that has that winning DNA.
It basically made up 5 games in the fourth quarter.
Right. Like in the teams that show up like that, it's kind of interesting. He's got the eyeballs next to some of these teams and not next to some of the others. The Chargers 12-3-2. He's got there. They wound up 11-6. Like I don't know why that's a eye-opening, I guess. I mean, they were tied in 2 of those games that they look like they wound up losing. So
right.
Really, 2 of them slipped away?
Maybe it's because they would have ended up with the second best record in football. If
maybe
Detroit 14-3, they would have been 12-3-2, which is the equivalent of like 13-3.
Right. And Houston, I think, is interesting too.
Or 13-4.
Right. Like they have them 12-5 after 3 quarters. Well, they lost 2 of those games. Right. They wound up 10-7. So is Houston a closing team? Or is that a sign of what you might expect out of them in 2025? Like,
sure.
Even those kind of things, it's hard to tell exactly. But if we're talking about specifically from the Houston example, how open is the opportunity to win the division last year? That kind of number only makes me feel more hopeful about the opportunity, right? Because the Jags were a team that just couldn't figure out how to close games, and apparently neither could Houston. Right? Like it's not like they're all that far off on those numbers. So the Jaguars wound up losing 1 more game than Houston in that kind of regard, right? It's that the Jags didn't have enough leads even after the third quarter. So they got to get better in some of these areas. But I do think it's interesting that Houston found a way to lose 2 more games.
But if you compare them to the worst teams in the league, which they were among the worst teams in the league, they've got more hope in this statistic than these other teams. Because you look at the Raiders at the bottom, they were 2-15. Well, the Raiders ended up with the 7th pick in the draft, right? The Giants would have ended up 3-14. And this is, again, if you held the leads that you held at the end of the third quarter, they would have gone 3-14. Right. The Browns, 3-13-1. The Patriots, 4-12-1. The Titans, 4-11-2. The Bears, 5-12. All these teams were picking in the top 10. The Jags would have slid out of the top 10 or the bottom 10, as the case may be. Again, doesn't mean everything's going to play out the exact same way, but I think that's where a lot of the hope lies for a quick improvement with this team. If they were that competitive with that degree of dysfunction going on, playing with your backup quarterback, playing with all these different injuries, and, playing basically without Christian Kirk, without Evan Ingram, these guys they won't be here, but they weren't there for a large portion of the season last year anyway. So, the fact that if they do nothing different but hold their fourth quarter leads, they'd pick up 3 wins. Well, then put yourself in position to have more of those fourth quarter leads. And then can we pick up 5 wins, and now we're talking. I think if the Jags picked up 5 wins and they went 9-8 in the first year under Liam Cohen, I think most people, depending on how those losses came about, right? If you weren't 9-5 and you lost the last 3 and a chance to make the postseason, right, I think most people would be pretty happy with a 9-8 record.
Yeah, I think so
year,
too.
As a major step in the right direction. All right. Question or option number 2 on our poll today. We're looking at single season records that could fall for the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. We put it at 15 to 20% chance that touchdown passes mark is broken this year. 35 is the record. Touchdown receptions came in the same year in 2015. Of course, Allen Robinson had those 14. Tony, the Jags have, I think, 4 other seasons where a guy has had 10, but exactly 10. How likely is it that this record falls to you, and is Brian Thomas really the only realistic option to break that mark this year?
I do think Brian Thomas is probably the only realistic option to get that kind of number. How likely do I think it is? Probably around the same as I feel about the touchdown pass mark.
Okay.
Like it's somewhere in that 15 to 20% maybe kind of range. I'm looking at the history of this number too, 15 or more touchdown receptions. There are 14 teams in the NFL right now that have never had it. It's only happened 37 times in NFL history that a player on a team has had 15 or more. Like this is pretty high watermarks, for achieving something in NFL history. So I kind of put those together with, I think that Brian Thomas Jr. is the first player they've had in a while that this would even be a consideration, year to year, that he could have that kind of year. But I give him about that 1 in 5 chance to do it.
I would say, you look at the other guys that have 10. Of course, Brian Thomas had 10 last year.
Yeah.
As a rookie. Right? Alan Hearns did it in 2015. What a year that was for passing highlights. Yeah. Mercedes Lewis did it as an outlier year. Reggie Williams did it as an outlier year.
Yes.
Jimmy Smith is next with 8. No one's ever had exactly 9. But Allen Robinson's season is the only one in which anyone's had 11 in Jaguar history. Because this comes down to like one guy having an exceptional year, I could see this falling more likely than I could see the passing touchdown mark for me personally. Now, it probably is concentrated in Brian Thomas Jr. If Travis Hunter's playing both sides, there are going to be times he's probably not going to be on the field, on either side of the ball. I don't think De'Ami Brown is a legitimate threat here. I don't think Brenton Strange is a legitimate threat here to come close to breaking this mark.
15 is a bunch.
15's a bunch, but you do have a guy that we think is a top 10 talent at the position.
Yeah.
And he showed it right away. And like when Hearns did it, it was like, Hearns is having a hell of a start to his career.
Right.
But he was an undrafted free agent. You didn't expect him to, make that run, that kind of season every year. It's crazy going into that year that 10 was the mark for the Jaguars. I don't know. I put this at like 25 to 25 to 30. What about you, Denmark?
Yeah, about the same. I think 15%.
So you think it's more or less likely than the touchdown passes?
I think the touchdown passes is slightly, because if you look at it, Trevor's got to throw 2 touchdowns a game, roughly. So if you do 17 times 2 is 34 to get that 35 mark. So one game, get 3. I think Brian Thomas Jr. would be the only one, and I hate to say this, but I feel like somebody in the receiving corps would have to get hurt as well for them to force feed, because I feel like this year more than last year, the ball's going to be fed more to other people. And if you look at last year in the NFL, only one person got over 15 touchdowns receiving, and it was the best receiver in the league, Jamar Chase. And that was also with Jamar Chase having T. Higgins miss 5 games. So
I think this is, to me, Trevor. More of a vote, though, for Brian Thomas versus Trevor Lawrence, to me. Like, because let's say Trevor misses 5 games. Nick Mullins may hone in on Brian Thomas for a month plus.
If I had to pick one or the other between Trevor and BTJ setting these records, I would pick BTJ. Right? Like,
even though statistically it's more unlikely to have a guy post that mark. I'm with you. This is more, and I understand what Dylan's saying. Kind of, you want to spread it around. You got different options here, right? They didn't spend $10 million on De'Ami Brown not to throw him the football at times, but also when Liam Cohen took the job, said this offense is going to run through Brian Thomas Jr. Right? I mean, he's clearly the top established playmaker that they have on this football team. Period. I feel after one season, it's clear. I guess this is just more a bet on him.
Yeah.
Having that individual season than it is Trevor, because Trevor can do it through a number of guys. You could have 10 for him, you could have 8 for this guy, you can have 7 for this guy, but it's still got to accumulate a lot more than he's ever done before.
And the whole conversation is around not that all 4 of these are going to fall. It's which one do you think is the most likely to fall?
Likely that none of them fall, really.
Like, I don't think any of them are going to get broken this year, but I will have it in my head, like, where I think the likelihood of each of these things happening is. You look at, even as prolific and as big a target as Mike Evans is, right? He's never had a 15 touchdown season.
Kind of crazy.
Right?
Didn't he have... Wasn't he, though, a guy that early on he didn't have those big touchdowns? Didn't he have some really oddball kind of touchdown numbers?
I'm looking at it. He had 12 his rookie year.
Okay.
Then 3, then 12. 5, 8, 8.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like 3, 5.
Yeah.
You know?
And then 13, 14, 6, 13, 11. The last 5 years.
Okay.
So he's a double-digit guy.
Yeah.
Right? And when you have a double-digit guy, they're going to be a threat pretty much year to year to maybe be the 15 guy.
And he had 11 last year, and Baker threw 41. Right. So I get it. I
think it's hard.
I totally. It is
15
very
is
hard.
a big number.
Again, 35 is a big number. 36.
18 sacks is a big number.
It's a big,
9
absolutely.
interceptions is a monster number.
We'll get to some of those defensive numbers in the second hour. Cast your vote. Let us know how you feel about which one of these records is most likely to fall right now. It's on the offensive side, Trevor and touchdown passes. Well, touchdown passes. I presume you think it's going to be Trevor. Getting 45.6%, 34% going to the touchdown receptions. So just over 20% combined going with these defensive marks, which we'll get into coming up in hour number 2. 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Let's welcome our friend Byron in Gainesville. Good morning, Byron.
Good morning, guys. I'm going to save my Duval for later because Dylan didn't know I had a surprise for you guys.
Oh.
I'm going to have to call the 1010 executives. Can y'all give me the number? Because this vacation stuff is going to cancel, man. Dylan, all of you guys, and Tony, because we need boots on the ground. Where them fans at? Give it to me now. Where them fans? Where the fans at? So let me tell you what I call about that, guys, before I get to my Duval. Guys, I thought Fred Taylor was the leading rusher, and I found out through something. You know, you can tell me the numbers because I can look it up probably. But Maurice Jones-Drew, if we can get somebody to break that record this year, I would like to know what was the record of those two guys' best year, and if those young running backs and the guys we got in there, I'm pulling for the running backs to break some records this year, and when they break the records, we're gonna be putting some boots on the ground and saying, Duval.
All right, Byron. How do you know, Byron, I'm not planning to just come visit you in Gainesville on my vacation, for all you know? Look, this is the least we need boots on the ground right now because there's no ground to cover, right? No actual things happening. Maurice Jones-Drew does have the single-season record. I did not include rushing yards. I mean, we could have included a million different records, right, here. And I went with ones that I thought were somewhat attainable. Like, I don't see any way in hell that anybody has 1,607 rushing yards, which would be one more than MJD's mark in 2011. This backfield, I believe, is going to be chopped up in, whether it's Etienne at the lead or Bigsby or Tootin. Right. I don't think one guy is going to have the opportunity. Maurice had 343 carries that year. Nobody's going to come close to 300, I don't think, in this offense. Freddie T had 2 more carries than that in 2003 when he had 1,572. So Maurice bested him by 34 yards, led the league that year. It's interesting. You look at the top 10. Freddie has got 6 of the 10 marks for the Jags. Maurice has 3 of the 10, including 3 of the top 5. And the only other guy, the interloper, is Leonard Fournette at 10 when he posted 1,152 yards in 2019. Etienne's 1125 in 2022 is good for 12th all time for the Jags. James Robinson sneaking in there. Stacey Mack, Tony, is top 20 with an 877 mark. I just don't see anybody coming close to that mark for the Jags this year.
No, and
I would have put this at 1% or less.
Yeah, I would have too. And the touchdown number there, rushing touchdowns, Mojo had 15 one year, right? I don't expect anyone to push that kind of number this season.
I don't know either, and that could have been certainly one. But I think, is Bigsby going to be the designated goal line back? Etienne's been a double-digit touchdown scorer. Who's going to be that guy? I think it's easier to look at Brian Thomas Jr. and say, ascendant star, passing league, this is going to be the guy. Anyway, that's what we opted to go with today. But, 15 for MJD. In 2009, Freddie T had 14 rushing touchdowns in his rookie campaign way back when. All right, we'll come back. Let's jump on the defensive side. Tony, sacks, interceptions. Which one of those marks could go down for the Jaguars this year? If you want to be a part of it, 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. The heat is on.
The heat is on.
Feel the heat.
The heat is on.
1010XL.
The heat is
June is Men's Health Month. Be proactive toward your prostate, ED, low T, even kidney stones with Ackerman Urology. Offices in Mandarin, Middleburg, the Beaches, and World Golf Village. Trust the men's health experts at AckermanUrology.com.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
With the first pick in the 2025 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Duck Duck Rooter, the #1 plumbing, septic, and air conditioning contractor in Florida.
Congratulations, Duck Duck Rooter. So tell us, how does it feel to be picked #1?
Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you need help with any plumbing, septic, or AC issue, just give us a call and relax. We'll send one of our first-round draft picks to tackle your problems today. DuckDuckRooter.com. That's DuckDuckRooter.com.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. ET here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to, and it should be yours too. Online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Jaguars Today, Wednesday.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take on the first place Steam Wheelers. Catch all the action this Saturday, June 21st at 7. Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Try the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. Come cheer on the Sharks as they circle a playoff bid. It's Star Wars Night, presented by HCA Florida Healthcare. Dress up in your favorite costume. Get photos with your favorite Star Wars characters before the game. The first 1,000 kids get a free lightsaber. Join us on the field after the game for a free autograph session and special jersey auction. Tickets start at just $15. Call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks!
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts.
Hey, Hickett here for my friends at Zero Res. Gang, vacuuming is not sufficient to maintain the cleanliness and lifespan of your carpet, period. Do not, let me repeat, do not leave deep cleaning to yourself, but do it yourself dirt attracting carpet soaking machines. No. Call on the cleaning freaks from Zero Res. Big summer savings. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take 20% off air duct cleaning as well. Call them, 904-287-5727, and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spelled forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. The Florida Gators and Miami Hurricanes are finalizing an agreement to play a neutral site game next season here in Jacksonville, according to 247 Sports, marking the first time the two rivals have shared the hardwood since 2019. The teams would play each other in mid-November. The in-state rivals have matched up just 69 times so far, with Florida holding a commanding 23-game series lead, which includes 6 wins in their last 10 matchups. Florida State's 2025-26 men's basketball schedule is also becoming clearer. John Rothstein announced that the Seminoles had entered into an agreement with the University of Dayton to play a home-and-home series in 2025 and 2026. Right now, 87 degrees at 11 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, we get into the second hour here, 11 o'clock on the East Coast of these United States of America. Glad you're with us on Jaguars Today, looking at some single-season marks that could possibly go down, or at least which ones of these are most likely to fall this year. There are marks that could go down. I mean, I think, I could see single-season receiving yardage, Tony, going down. If Brian Thomas has that kind of year, he already had one of the best years in Jaguars history. Last year was third in the league, so that wouldn't surprise me at all. We try to put some not likely to be achieved marks in there. And we also wanted a couple to represent the defensive side of the ball. So let's take a look at interceptions, currently getting the third most votes in this poll today. 12% of the people think the defensive interception single season record is most likely to be broken this year. As somebody put it, that they think, we'll have with Anthony Campanile in, it's going to easily be defense because he's going to have that secondary flying around. The cold, sobering stats are outside of Rasheed Mathis, very few guys have even achieved 9 in a Jaguar uniform total. Never mind in a single season. Aaron Beasley had 6 back in 99. Of course, Rasheed had the 8 as a single season absolute best. Guys career-wise who've had 9 or more. Donovan Darius had 14 total. Derek Cox, didn't he have like 3 straight years of 4?
Yeah.
Was it that,
like that,
right?
yeah.
To start his career. He had 12. Those are those 12. Paul Posluszny ended up with 11 for the Jags. Jalen Ramsey and Telvin Smith had 9 total. Tyson Campbell's career best interceptions, Tony, in a season. What do you got?
3.
3 is correct. How many last year for Tyson?
1.
0.
None in 12 games. Jordan Lewis is career best interceptions in a season.
4.
3. So, again, he's the nickel. Is he going to play 100% of the time? Is this just a Tyson Campbell stat right here? Do you think if anyone challenges his record, does it have to be Tyson Campbell, in your opinion? Or is Travis Hunter that good that in a less than probably 100% role on defense. At least I anticipate. I think he's going to try to play as much as possible. We've all talked about, will there be times when they're looking to gain, some rest for him in this circumstance, in that circumstance. If you're down 14 in the fourth quarter and the other team's running the ball, is Travis Hunter on the field? I don't know the answer to that. Do you feel like this has to be Tyson Campbell or bust?
Probably, given how open we all feel like the free safety job specifically is.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they had a free safety that could be dominant, maybe, whoever would be in that position. Like if you had asked me this question last year, I would have told you Cisco would be my candidate, right?
Okay.
Like going into last season, that's who my candidate to lead the team in interceptions would have been for this football team. I feel like it's still likely that the free safety, whoever that is, will likely lead the team in interceptions this year, but who exactly that will be is open. It also tells you how unlikely I think it is that anyone's going to hit 9, right? Like I don't think anyone's getting anywhere close to that number.
Yeah, I think this is like 2% or less.
Right.
I mean, this is incredibly unlikely to me that one guy is going to have 9. When you just look at what's gone down here in Jacksonville, and you can argue, okay, you haven't played with enough leads, right? We're going to have a good pass rush. Okay, there are reasons why someone might make a run at it, but you're asking Tyson Campbell to triple his career best season in this category if he's going to be the one. Like you said, is it going to be Savage? Is it going to be Ransaw? Is it going to be Dewey? Is it going to be a combination of those guys? That's probably the thing, right? Eric Murray's not going to have 9 interceptions. I just can't see it. Now, maybe if we had drafted Travis Hunter and he was a full-time corner and that's all he was, and you knew he was going to be a full-time corner from day one, play almost 99% of the snaps whenever he's healthy, maybe I'd feel a little bit differently. At least I'd raise the percentage. I still don't think this would rise to the most likely category.
No, and I said this is an old NFL kind of number. Right, guys hitting these kind of things. I'm looking at the all-time single-season interception leaders right now.
Okay.
9 of the 77 that have hit double digits happened since 2000. 9 of the 77 that have happened in NFL history have happened since the year 2000. And I think 3.
So 9 guys in the last 25 years, basically.
Yeah.
Right? So roughly one every 2.5 seasons.
Yeah. It's a really, really rare thing.
Good luck.
Yeah, anybody in a Jaguars uniform ever hitting 9 would be amazing.
Not opposed to it, right?
No.
Go out there and prove us wrong. I just think, we're looking at what's more likely. That I don't think any of these are likely to happen.
I am looking at the poll results, right? I am stunned that people are more confident the interception number would happen over the sack number. I can't believe it.
Yeah, but we'll get into the sack discussion here coming up shortly. 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Let's go to Robert in Keystone wants to weigh in on this. Robert, good morning. You're on Jaguars Today.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm enjoying the show. My question is this. If, let's just say they break some of those records, what percent would you put on the coaching? Now, I'm not, trying to stir up anything here. Well, maybe I am. But I want to know, if they break some of the records, is it going to be because of the coaches we brought in compared to what we saw on the field last year? That's my question, guys. If you had to put a percentage on, if the records, some of the records are broken, what percent would you put on coaches? That's my question.
Okay. Look, I think obviously you can't do it unless you're talented enough to do it. I don't care what the coaching is. You still have to be talented, and you have to have talent around you. Like in the case of Trevor Lawrence, there'd be a huge impact from the coaching you would expect, Tony. But then again, are we knocking Baker Mayfield because he did it under Liam Cohen last year and he threw 41, right? We're saying, no, Baker was capable of doing it, but it took Liam Cohen's offense and the talent around him, including Mike Evans, half the season of Chris Godwin, maybe 6 weeks of Chris Godwin. Jalen McMillan, all those guys had to be in place. You can't do it with a bare bones receiving core, but there's no question. If Trevor Lawrence sets that mark in touchdown passes, I think it's going to have a huge degree to do with the coaching of Liam Cohen and the scheme that he installs.
Yes, I think so. And I think if they're able to do that kind of thing this year, that the expectation will be that they're going to sustain that for a little while. right? Like
Agreed.
It'll be built upon the numbers we're talking about with Blake Bortles in 2015, right? He had those numbers. His OC that year was Greg Olson, right?
Right.
When did he become a hot name anywhere?
He didn't,
right?
but I think that was a case of Jags playing from behind, just, playing a lot of hero ball.
And in 2016, they were terrible, right? Like it only took a year for that to fall off a cliff.
Correct.
Right? Like it feels like if they were able to hit these kind of numbers specifically offensively this year, having brought in Liam Cohen, he's on that side of the ball. He's going to be calling the offense. We just saw what happened in Tampa, right? Like it would feel like there would be real momentum for it to be something that's going to last for a while. Here in Jacksonville, you still got a young quarterback going into the prime of his career. If he had that kind of season in the middle, everything would be building towards something. It would feel like here in Jacksonville, I think we would talk about it however the heck we would talk about it coming out of this season, but I hope that I have the foresight right now to point out that I hope when it happens next offseason, I'm talking about, all right, is this the beginning of a run?
Right, where you don't have to set the record every single year, but you raise the floor to your expectations that Trevor becomes then maybe a consistent 30 touchdown passer.
Yeah.
You're not going to throw 36 every year. As you pointed out, only 5 guys did that last year in the entire National Football League. But I think that's the one that's the most impacted by the coaching here. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is a specimen that even with a poor offense and
he's going to have a chance to do this kind of thing.
He was so good. You could force feed him the ball with Mac Jones, and he was pretty damn successful doing it because he's that talented. And I think that any halfway competent coach is going to recognize that and give him the opportunities with the targets. It's kind of comes down to obviously your quarterback play, but what he does as an individual with the ball in his hands. I think beyond the X's and O's.
Yeah.
Whereas like sacks, that's part of the scheme. But I think, and we'll get into sacks a little bit more. I think this it's not like they're going to start blitzing Josh Hines Allen. He rushes the quarterback in the big situations almost all the time anyway, I think coaching could play a role if your coaching produces a better pass rush in combination with the additions that they've made, then that helps the secondary become more of a playmaking unit. Sure. I do think there's some of that. So it may be that interceptions has the second biggest impact for me in terms of coaching, but that's just such, as you pointed out, we've had 9 instances of guys having double-digit interception seasons since 2000. It's such a low number. It's just hard to do, period, no matter how good the coaching is, because after a certain point in time, you're reliant on still getting the ball coming to your area.
Yeah.
Right? If Tyson Campbell let's say he has 8 picks and a couple of pick sixes, and all of a sudden, are people going to be testing him as much?
Yeah.
There
was a time in the NFL where quarterbacks didn't really care how many interceptions they threw. They wanted the big play every now and then, so they just throw it up. My guy will have a chance. We'll see what happens, right? Like that's how the NFL used to work. And then the 49ers and the West Coast offense came into the NFL. And, the whole idea of you're not going to go broke making a profit. Like that became a part of NFL offense. Check it down. Check it down. Check it down. We're not risking the ball until we have to. We're not risking the ball. So it makes sense that the interception numbers would have taken a nosedive. Right around the 80s, it makes sense that they would have taken a nosedive because the way offense was played around the entire league changed about that time. So no, they're just much more risk averse than they used to be in the National Football League. So guys get less opportunities to make picks.
All right, so right now, interceptions getting the 3rd most votes in our poll. The stat that is coming up last we'll discuss next, which is sacks in a single season. You can vote on this at MD_1010XL on the Twitter machine if you'd like to weigh in which of these Jaguars single season individual marks most likely to be broken in 2025. I do think coaching impacts the touchdown passes more than the others. It impacts all of it, obviously, but I think more directly, we saw that direct impact, Liam Cohen coming in and taking Baker Mayfield to another level. If Baker weren't capable of going to that level, no amount of coaching gets him to that level. It's a combination. I do think Trevor Lawrence has the raw ability to be that guy, provided he stays on the field. That's another huge factor in this whole thing. If you tell me Trevor's going to miss 3 or 4 games, forget it. never going to challenge this kind of mark. So keep him on the field this year. TD passes at 35, touchdown receptions at 14, interceptions for a defender at 8, and Josh Hines Allen's own sack mark of 17.5. We'll discuss that one coming up next. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. You might be driving around Jacksonville right now listening to our voices discuss Jaguar football. Well, guess what? Lunchtime is here. If you're hungry and you want to eat your lunch, now's a good time to have some lunch, all right? Noon's coming up regardless. If you didn't make a plan, you don't need one. Your plan is swing into an area gate station, head right to the fresh case, look for the Dandy label and the Anytime Deli label. Those are the two marketed under the Dandy brand, and they're going to have just so many great options for you. Usually over 30 at the local gate station that I go to. 30 different menu items. That's a bunch of different sandwiches, subs, full breakfast menu, light lunchtime wraps, gourmet salads. They've got something for everybody that you can imagine. If you just want a quick pick-me-up on the go as you drive around, spread out Duval County, Danny's got your back with protein packs and veggie trays and fruit cups. If you're hungry in Duval, folks, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy. Do it today.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Bringing intelligent sports talk to the people of Jacksonville.
He's going to demonstrate an electro-biomechanical neural transmitting zero synapse repositioner. We call it
1010XL.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080. It's June, so the finals are here and the temperature's rising. When the heat is on, will your AC step up or choke in crunch time? Don't sweat it. Cool Cat's Heating and Cooling brings championship level comfort. Cool when it's hot, no missed shots, no overtimes. You're back up and running. So before summer runs up the score, call Cool Cat's Heating and Cooling. CoolCatsJax.com.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. The coolest cats in town.
Is your roof ready for hurricane season? When storms hit, you need more than just a roof. You need trust. Valor Roofing Company is veteran-owned and operated, serving all of Florida with integrity and quality craftsmanship. From minor repairs to full replacements, they'll treat your home like it's their own. Estimates are always free, and veterans receive a special discount on all roofing services. Visit ValorRoofingCo.com and protect your home with people who care. GAF certified license CCC 1334864.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
ET here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, you have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits. You have the right to choose your own doctor, too. And I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation, the auto accident experts.
Summer means fun in all forms. Longer days and more chances to soak up the sun and the fun. Budweiser and Bud Light reminding you to drink wiser. Hydrate between beers and don't sweat it. It's the best way to get home safely.
When it comes to my opinion, I love dropping the hammer. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Millard Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Millard Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Millard Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Millard Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out The Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At The Y, summer camps every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, you have told us about the importance of cutting a diamond properly and about color and weight. But how do you judge the clarity of a diamond?
Frank, that's a good question that has a very specific answer. Diamonds are graded at 10-power magnification using a binocular microscope. But when you're shopping for diamonds, a lot of times a sales clerk will just hand you a magnifying glass called a jeweler's loupe and have you look into the diamond. While an expert knows how to do this, it's kind of tough on a novice because they don't know how to create the same dark field illumination that a binocular microscope gives. As a result, the customer may or may not be able to see anything. That's why at Underwoods, we set the clarity grade of a diamond with a binocular microscope. We have these instruments in every store and invite our customers to examine the diamond underneath them. We can show you the microscopic inclusions that affect the rarity and value of a diamond. So if you're shopping for fine quality diamonds and want the facts, come see us at Underwoods.
That's Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hey, yeah, I want to shoot, baby, shoot.
Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Tony, we'll get back into the Jag discussion, but the NFL, even in the slow time, never stops. There are a few teams holding their mini camp this week, but why don't we take a look around the rest of the NFL?
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
LA Rams head coach Sean McVay said yesterday that the team is making progress towards getting a long-term deal done with running back Kyren Williams, who is entering the final year of his rookie deal there with the Rams. Baltimore quarterback Lamar Jackson told reporters this week that he has talked to his former Louisville teammate and current free agent corner Jair Alexander about joining the Ravens there in Baltimore. The Atlanta Falcons have signed running back Jashaun Corbin. Corbin led the UFL in rushing this season while playing for San Antonio. New York Giants wide receiver Jalen Hyatt was knocked out of the Giants minicamp practice yesterday with an apparent leg injury. No details on the severity of that injury have been given yet that I've seen. Olympic 100-meter champion Noah Lyles has canceled a potential race with Miami wide receiver Tyreek Hill. Due to personal reasons, Hill challenged Lyles to the race shortly after he won gold at the Olympics last year in Paris. The event was scheduled for this weekend in Times Square, but obviously that's not going to happen now.
Look, Noah Lyles would smoke him, but you just handed Tyreek Hill the trump card. He's ducking me, right? He saw me run that 10-1-5 100, and he's ducking me. Now, I don't think for a second that Tyreek Hill could keep up with a guy who does it at the top level for a living.
He could keep up with him for the first 30, 40 meters, but once you get that top end speed after that 50, it's different, man. Football speed and track speed is different.
10-1-5 is good.
That's insane. For Tyreek Hill, he's 30? And
Yeah,
on a
something like
10-1-5, and he doesn't, train track obviously all the pros do. That is insane.
Faster than DK Metcalf.
Yeah, he ran a 10-3, I think it was.
I thought it was
or 10-2.
I thought it was higher than that.
I don't think it was a 10-4. Let me check.
I thought it was higher in the 10s. He broke 11 seconds. I don't remember what I might be wrong.
10-3-6.
10-3-6.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's insane for
a guy his size, right? He's super fast, but he's younger as well. You don't see too many guys catching DK Metcalf.
No.
In the National Football League at all. But, look, I don't think that Noah Lyles is ducking him. I don't think. But
no, whatever's happened.
But if I'm Tyreek, I'm never letting him hear the end of it, man. We had it all set up, and I showed up. I would show up if I were Tyreek Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Cameras in tow.
Yeah.
Where you at, Noah?
Why not?
Don't really care that much about it one way or the other, but that does seem like that sport is all about I mean, you wear the mantle of the world's fastest human if you win the Olympic gold medal, for instance.
100 meter.
Like there's something to, I mean, that is like, separating the men from the boys kind of stuff. A lot of guys can run 10-1, by the way. I'm not saying, but it's still impressive. I can't.
Right.
But, and Tyreek Hill's not a full-time track guy. It is impressive for him, but I think more impressive now, he'll just get to brag that he made Noah Lyles blink. All right. Why don't we get to our fourth option here to discuss, Tony, and I'll use today's 10-10 take to do that.
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
All right, again, which of these Jaguars single-season individual marks most likely to be broken? We don't think any of them is likely to be broken. We don't think it's more likely than not, but we've given kind of like 15 to 20% on the touchdown passes, maybe a little bit more, 25, 30% perhaps on the touchdown receptions. I think it's less than 5%, maybe 2% on the defensive interceptions. The stat that's getting the fewest votes here is sacks. 9.2% of the vote.
Yep.
It's mystifying to me.
Me too.
We have a guy who set the mark within the last 2 years who's still on the team.
Yeah.
And people think this is the least likely to fall?
On a team, you add all the factors on a team in 2023 that was lousy at rushing the passer outside of the two guys that they got. They had 40 sacks that year as a team. So they had 12 and a half.
Got double teamed on every rep.
Outside of Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker. 12 and a half from the rest of the team. Roy Robertson Harris was third on the team with 3.5 sacks. It's not like he can get any less support than he had in 2023. This one, to me, is the easiest one to pick as the one that I think is the most likely.
Most likely, easy number one.
He's the only one that's pushed it. It's why he's holding the record that he could break.
He has the record. And, oh, by the way, there are two guys that I think could do it.
Yeah.
Right. No other I don't feel like anybody else is set up. Not now. Technically, yes, Travis Hunter could catch 17 touchdowns this year. Could he? Yes, he could. How likely is that to happen? Trayvon Walker's been on an ascendant track.
Yeah.
He's been a double-digit guy now for the last couple of years. And, he hasn't challenged that number. Well, neither had Josh Hines Allen until he did. Now, after putting on the weight last year, he's taking it back off.
Yep.
You want to talk about having an aggressive defense? Everybody, by the way, every time you hire a new defense coordinator, everyone raves about how aggressive we're going to be on defense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'm stuck. I don't think it's 50% likely.
No.
But it's clearly to me the number one option on here.
Yeah, easily the most likely.
Easily the most likely on here. And it's getting the fewest votes by a wide margin. 5 times as many people think that Trevor Lawrence will break the touchdown pass mark, which means he'll throw 11 more than he ever has in a season.
Yeah.
Now, I think that there is, as I said, more impact on the coaching change on that than any of these. So I get it if you're saying, hey, it's not just Trevor. It's Trevor with, we hope, improved weapons with a much better offensive coaching staff and play caller.
But that's a big reason why I think the Hines Allen number is the most likely. Right? Again, going through what they had in 2023, because they had nothing going on defense outside of him and Trayvon. That's what they had, right? Like for that entire season, the team wound up with 40. He had 17 and a half of them. I don't think the interior is any worse than it was 2 years ago, right? For Josh Hines Allen, and if he is going to take that weight off, it's just him chasing his own number. I think it's the most likely of these things. I can understand the fan base looking, the excitement of what they could be on offense, kind of filling the eyes of everyone out there right now, and I get it. I understand it, but I think actually sitting down and thinking about it, no. Hines Allen chasing his own number is easily the mark.
I mean, he's a guy, we know he's capable of 17 and a half. Can he get 1/2 more? Now, he'll maybe never reach that total again, and likely he won't.
Yeah.
Okay, likely that'll be the best season he's ever had.
Yeah.
But I think it's more likely that he makes that run. And again, I do think the Trayvon Walker factor is a factor here, Tone, that I don't think any other category. TD passes, it's got to be Trevor. TD receptions, for me, it has to be Brian Thomas this year.
Yep.
Defensive interceptions, it has to be Tyson Campbell.
And it's so far away that,
Like the next guy, Trayvon to get 18 sacks is so much more likely than somebody whose name I didn't mention breaking one of those marks. I don't even think it's close. Dylan, are we crazy for putting that much more confidence in this stat than the other ones?
No, because it's not like Josh Hines-Allen did it a couple of years ago and he's no longer in his prime. Or it's not like Trayvon Walker is no longer in his prime. These guys are still in their prime, and they've done it. And it's not too crazy out of the realm of possibility for Trayvon Walker to get a couple more sacks and Josh Hines-Allen to do what he did a couple of years ago. Like we've already showed you, like there was only one person in the NFL last year that got over that 15 touchdown threshold for receiving yards. There's only 5 quarterbacks that did 35 touchdowns or more, 8 interceptions. You look at the list from the guys from since 2000 in the NFL. There's not that many guys that have done it. Getting sacks, especially if the Jags can get leads in the second half and force quarterbacks to throw the ball. This is a pretty simple answer.
Well, I don't think it's, again, likely. I would not predict anybody to break this mark. I just think there are more contenders, meaning 2, and one of the contenders is the guy who holds the record.
And it's the factors of, it's not like they were playing with a bunch of leads in 23.
Yes.
He still had 17 and a half. Right? The back half of that season, they were miserably bad.
This one, honestly, these results surprised me more than most of the polls we do, because I was a little bit hesitant to put this in. Was it going to be a runaway for this? Because people are going, oh, we just saw the guy do it 2 years ago.
Right.
It's the same guy, and he's supposedly going to be in better shape this time, or at least more effective pass rushing shape because of the approach that they're taking with his weight. It's really surprising me. Hey, look, we could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just stunned that 5 times as many people think Trevor is going to have 11 more touchdown passes than he ever had, than Josh Hines-Allen has a half sack more than he's ever had in a year.
I don't think any of them are all that likely.
Give me a percentage on this one.
35.
I'm going with 34 because you know why? Because 33 is a third, right? But I'm going to take the 1% that you round up. I'm going to take the biggest third of that. But it's, 34, 35%.
Yeah.
Don't think it's likely.
And again,
but it's more likely.
Like the others, like the higher ones in my mind are like somewhere like 15 to 20. The interceptions is like 2, like we said.
I think for me, it's sacks number 1. Clearly number 1. Easy number 1. I think it's TD receptions 2.
Me too.
I think it's touchdown passes 3, and I think it's not even almost worth talking about the defensive interceptions.
Me too.
But we included it because we wanted to have a couple of offensive stats, a couple of defensive stats that people could go after. And but right now, that's not how you feel, and that's fine. 45% think that the touchdown pass mark is the most likely to fall. 34.5% going with the touchdown receptions. 11.3% think someone's going to get 9 or more interceptions, and only 9.2% think the sack mark. I don't think the sack mark gets broken, right? And I can understand, like, I definitely get the Liam Cohen impact on Baker Mayfield playing a role in this, right? And so I'm not, like, I don't think it's it's not even that I think it's crazy high a percentage on the offensive stats. It's that it's so low that you think that more people think that someone's going to have 9 interceptions than Josh Allen could break his own sack record.
That's inexplicable to me.
Like when only like 6 or 7 guys have 9 in their total career for Jacksonville. That's very surprising. But hey, that's why we ask the questions. Don't always get the results that we're looking for. We'll come back with some final thoughts on the day on that and a couple of other little Jaguar nuggets out there as we put a bow on this one. Helmets and Heels at the top of the hour. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL, where electrifying moments come to life.
Inside of a minute to play.
And legendary performances lead.
A monumental milestone in a legendary career.
1010XL, the power of Jacksonville Sports Radio.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website customtreesurgeons.com. That's customtreesurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Zero Res. Gang, vacuuming is not sufficient to maintain the cleanliness and lifespan of your carpet, period. Do not, let me repeat, do not leave deep cleaning to yourself, but do it yourself dirt attracting carpet soaking machines. No. Call on the cleaning freaks from Zero Res. Big summer savings. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take 20% off air duct cleaning as well. Call them, 904-287-5727, and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 3:20 for the latest in sports injuries. From all the big names in the game, who's MIA, who's coming back from injury. Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 3:20.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Hey, Jacksonville Hicken here. I've been around the block or two, and Checkmate Coatings is who I'd call for my own place. They're my new MVP for stunning, long-lasting floors.
Brendan here with Checkmate Coatings. No massive overhead means top prices on top-quality pool decks, driveways, garages, and patios, too.
Visit CheckmateCoatings.com today. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
If golf is your thing, you'll want to check out the 2025 Hills Pass at Hidden Hills Golf Club. Unlimited golf, including golf car, and preferred tee times for just one low price. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to purchase your Hills Pass today.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Hey, Hicken here, and you know I'm going to talk about skin. Yeah, it's hot outside, folks. The oven is on. Temps are in the 90s, and it's only getting hotter. I love the summer, but my skin doesn't. I do my best with dry-fit shirts, big floppy hats, plenty of water. My secret weapon, though, the sunscreen. I use it regularly. Maybe you should as well. Look, I've also been seeing docs at Beaches Dermatology for years, and my skin thanks me for it. I'm telling you, it could save your life. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
So, Denmark, we got a record-breaking challenge on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, you tell me?
Yeah, so someone texted us, which Jaguars Today producer, current or former, wins a 100-meter race or perhaps a 10-10-meter race? So 1,010 meters would be 2.5 laps. Yeah, I ain't doing that junk. I was talking about the 100-meter. I said, me, next question. And he said, so you're taking down ET in the 100? Question mark.
I mean, that's the race. Here's the question. Is it ET pre or post Achilles tear?
I would, yeah. See, I don't know ET, his athletic ability pre-Achilles, like what he did in high school, 40-yard dash.
He's a running back.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I
don't think he ran.
I don't have his
track.
stats. I don't have his football card here.
Only thing I could tell you is I ran 11.6 100-meter my senior year of high school, and that was 10 years ago.
Okay. I will say, though, that ET, at least Tony, had the hubris to challenge guys like Lavernius Coles, noted speedster, to foot races. Now, I think Lavernius Coles beat him in street shoes.
Now, and this is in the parking lot, right? Like
in a
30,
parking
40
lot.
meters-ish, roughly?
Yeah, whatever it was. It was a
that long.
Quick sprint.
Yeah.
I mean, really, Lauren Brooks was our first producer. Then we had Tyler Devitt, right? And he's kind of got the Dylan Denmark build.
A little bit,
But he's more of a hooper. I don't know if he was a runner at all. We went from Tyler to ET. Is that how that went? And then
yes.
So we've had 4 main producers in that time. I'd back you, Denmark, all the way right now. Like,
I mean,
as ET,
not even a year recovered from the Achilles for ET.
I would tell ET he don't want that smoke. Okay, as he would tell people for years that they didn't want that smoke.
ET would say you wouldn't want the smoke a year ago. Like
that's what he would say.
Yeah.
But prove it. All right.
Yeah.
Prove it, tough guy. ET would not participate in the challenge, which really brings up some of the thing that makes me, I don't know, one of the most sad thoughts here at 1010XL. Out of all the things we've done, I cannot believe we lost the audio to the producer combine.
I know it.
That we did. Some of that popped up in my timeline for something. I don't know where it was. Might have been on Facebook. I'm rarely on Facebook, but sometimes I'll be at home on the computer and it'll pop up. You have a friend request, so I'll open it up. And I want to say 2012. Did we do that? Producer Combine? I want to say it was like 2012.
Early on, yeah.
And it was, we just took different producers in the building. And, as we were building towards the NFL Scouting Combine, we needed a little off-season content. We thought we'd pit them against each other. And I know we did a sample Wonderlic test, because you can find those online. They're not that long. So you had like a sample Wonderlic, and they had like 2 minutes to complete it because that was the percentage of the Wonderlic that they had. I know they had to book a guest like on short notice, and everybody went to like the same like Rolodex or whatever. I know somebody got Fuzzy Zeller on. It was like kind of weird. Do I ask him about the Tiger Woods thing at the mat? It's been years since that happened. I don't know. I don't remember the other guests that we got, but that one stood out to me. And then we had a 2-lap race around the building. How far is it around the old building, would you say? What is that? How many yards?
Oh, yards?
Yeah. 150 yards around the building?
Yeah, roughly.
Right, so maybe
I'd probably say probably a little less, but in that
little
ballpark.
Less? Like what would like the long side of the building be? Like maybe 40?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Like 40 on that, and then maybe 30 on the short side. So I don't know, whatever, 180 or 150 yards, whatever it was for 1 lap. And we did it twice. And really the producer combine, it was a 3-person event. It was Hacker, Donna Murphy, and Beef.
Yep.
And that was it. And Beef shook the world up on the first lap. He is out. I mean, he is sprinting out to the lead. Beef is holding it down. He's way out in front.
Yeah.
We had correspondents reporting live on this from opposite caddy corners of the building where they could each see two sides of the building. So, like, as it's coming around, they'd pick him up. Here comes Beef out of turn 3, that kind of thing, you know. And I think Beef was leading maybe until the third turn of the second lap, and then he just hit the wall, man. And then, like, he walked it in from there. I don't even know if he walked it. He just lost it. He was leading the pack. Then he ended up dead last. We all thought Donna was the only one who was in shape out of anybody involved in this, would win this easily.
Yeah.
So she passes Beef, and here comes Hacker, though. I'm going to put a sprint on to shake up the world.
There was a time where I had a narrow esophagus.
And that was not a competition, however.
No.
Esophagus diameter.
Eat steak.
Eat some more. And then Hacker thought he put on the Jets and tried to catch Donna at the line and thought, well, I'm going to dive for the tape. And he did. He literally dove like Pete Roser, the hands out for the line on the concrete. Would have been a great story if he had won.
Yeah.
Hacker is an ass.
Wow, that's a little strong now. Come on.
Yeah.
That is very strong. A Hacker came in second. I thought Beef was going to die. He came in. He couldn't talk for like 5 minutes. He was just sucking.
Yeah.
Not that I could run around anything twice, okay? Couldn't run around a tree twice.
No.
All right, so.
We've had a couple of those. You had the one where McManus was calling it that day.
Oh, Beef versus Hacker.
Yeah, where Beef elbowed him. Right to
Is that how that went down?
Yeah. He threw out the elbow to stop him.
We did that. We had Baselli versus Ryan Murphy, right, in the swimming.
Yep.
When Murphy was back in high school, back in the high school days. I don't know, Denmark. I'm willing to put you up against anybody here. JJ LaSelva, what's he going to sprint to? The fridge?
He's a jogger. He's a marathon person. He's not a
is he? Is he an endurance guy?
Yeah. He's done a couple marathons the last year or two.
Okay.
So he would win the distance for
He's done a couple marathons in the last couple of years?
Yeah.
Is that right?
So.
Good for him.
So.
I know he doesn't strike me as a sprinter.
No.
He's a build-up speed guy.
Yeah, he's a light jog.
Just never stops.
Yeah.
Man, I thought I was doing good this week. Got back up to 6 miles in the heat. And that's walking. You kidding me? Run a marathon, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Molly, where's Molly when you need her? You need
Right?
Molly back here. I'll throw Molly up against all you dudes. Yeah, I don't know. If you want to get it going, Dylan, we'll get some side bets going. But
yeah, it'd probably be all the people that aren't on the air, like Graham. It'd be Jacob, Trent, maybe.
Oh yeah, most of those guys would smoke
Max.
most of the actual producers.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
But
certain younger and in better shape.
Right. Yeah, because I'm by far me and RJ the youngest.
So we'd have to have one running event for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need more events this time. I think like a basketball 3-point shooting contest kind of thing.
Cornhole, one toss in the cornhole.
Cornhole would be fine.
One free throw.
One free throw.
Or a three. You want to do rather than
you got to shoot like 50 free throws. See how many you make.
Or play horse or something.
Yeah. Right. You gave me one free throw.
I was saying like bang, bang, bang. Like do a timer. Like do one cornhole, one make one basket, and kind of go around like
all
in a
within
relay.
A certain amount of time. You gotta check every box.
Set up some tires and go like through a ladder drill, but through tires.
Hey, bro, I'm just ready to sit back and watch. So you can come up with as many elaborate things as you like for that, and I think Tony and I would support it.
Sure.
So anything that makes you guys sweat and us be able to comment on it would be fine. So today it looks like TD Pass is going to hold it down, Tony, for a single season individual record, most likely to be broken. Really not much movement on this poll on that. We'll see how it holds up over the next 24 hours. 45% for that mark to be broken, which would mean 36 for Trevor Lawrence. TD receptions need at least 15. 34% of the people say that's the most likely. Defensive interceptions, 12% going with that, and only 9% going with the sack mark falling. Dylan dug up one more interesting stat for us today from Warren Sharp. Once again, most targets last year for a receiver, a pass catcher, in a team's first 15 plays of the game. You think over the course, all right, if you're playing every game, that's 17 games, 15 plays, that's a lot of plays, right? That could come your way.
Yeah. When I did the math on it, so like CeeDee Lamb leading it with 49, that's basically a little over 19% of the Cowboys' offensive plays in their first 15 went to CeeDee Lamb. Right. Doesn't mean they were called for him necessarily.
But they went to him.
But the ball went to him. And the number where we wound up having Brian Thomas Jr. wind up at 31 puts him around 12% of the Jaguars' first 15 plays went to Brian Thomas Jr.
I would expect the three guys who lead this are the three guys who you would expect to lead this, right? CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, not necessarily in that order. Travis Kelce, despite having kind of a down year, right, by his standards, was next tied with DJ Moore and Drake London and a bunch of guys tied at 36. But, look, I think that number grows for Brian Thomas this year, even with potentially better weapons joining him.
And the group of players he's in, it makes all the sense in the world.
T. Higgins, A.J. Brown, Brian Thomas Jr., Brock Bowers, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
And
if the number goes up this year, I'd be like, okay. But I don't think it has to go a whole lot higher than that.
You only have, 7 guys who had more than 35 targets in that range. But I think he could jump up into the mid-30s very easily if, as Liam Cohen said, we're going to run this offense through him this year. All right, our time has come to a close, so let's welcome in Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
Hello, Taylor.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Denmark v. Valor. I guess we left RJ out of this. RJ ain't winning the sprint. Sorry, RJ, you're not winning the sprint against my man Denmark. We were talking about different records that might fall this year. Somebody asked who would win a 100-meter race between all the producers. I think it all comes down to, are you taking ET pre or post Achilles?
Yeah, that might factor in a little bit.
I think Dylan smokes the field otherwise right now. So.
Yeah, I agree. That injury probably is not helping the speed, but it would be fun to watch.
It would be, right, because watching is the key right there. I'm not risking my Achilles.
I'm not running.
I'm not racing any of you people for any reason unless there's a significant cash prize involved. And then I'm not likely to win it. So, I mean, really, why am I going to do it anyway? So we asked today, which of these records is most likely to be broken? All right, the single season mark. TD passes of 35. Touchdown receptions is 14. Sacks 17.5. Defensive interceptions 8. Which one of those marks? I'm not saying any of them will fall, but if one were to fall, which would be the most likely?
I kind of want to say the defensive interceptions.
Really?
Yeah. Only because I don't know. I have to see. I don't see personally Trevor getting to 35 touchdowns.
Okay.
I think there's too many weapons now for somebody. Not saying it can't happen. I feel like you have guys that are really good and can hit that 14, but I don't know how exactly this offense is going to be spread out and who's getting what and how much is going to kind of go to Brian Thomas Jr. or Travis Hunter or Diami Brown, or how much are we going to get to the running backs now, because you would feel like some of them would get some pass catchings too and some receiving touchdowns. So it's hard for me to kind of think that one person's going to get 14. And then what was it? Oh, sacks. 17 and a half is just hard. It's just like, I mean, you've done it. Josh Hines-Allen was there. And so, but I just don't know if I see that again, because I also think in addition to the receiving side of things, the defensive, you've added now a couple pass rushers who may get in the mix. So you're not counting on those guys to get 17, 18 touchdowns, as in Josh Hines-Allen or Trayvon Walker. But I wouldn't be completely shocked if they did it again. But I kind of want to go interceptions with this.
Okay. I'd be surprised with interception. I think that's the toughest one to hit. I mean, in the history of the Jags, 2 guys have had more than 4 in a season. And that one of them is Rasheed with 8. That's the record. And Aaron Beasley in 1999 had 6. You know, it's really 7 guys in the history of the team have had 9 total interceptions. I just think that's
I think they're all difficult. I just don't think I have the confidence in. I'm not there with Trevor yet to hit the amount of touchdowns. I could be completely wrong, so I was trying to go the one that I felt like maybe we'd be able to get a little surprise from, and I don't know who. I don't know who was doing that.
We were discussing it, and that it's funny. The interceptions for both of us is the last one by a mile.
Okay,
all right, for us, and it was interesting. We were like, I don't understand why people are voting the interceptions, and I think I just heard it. It's
There's
a
just
snap
not the
reaction.
Yeah.
Right to the other numbers being what? Okay.
Right,
Well, yeah.
right, because it's like, oh, it's 9 plays. You only have to make 9
You
plays.
kind of go through and you're like, I don't really see this happening. I don't really see this happening. And then you get there and you're like, maybe.
But and that's the thing, though. Josh Hines Allen, we saw it happen.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. I
And
just
he's
don't see
still
it
on the
happening
team.
again, is
I
my
gotcha.
thing. Yeah.
But I
like,
think
that
it
was
could be him or Trayvon.
Yeah, and that's
Whereas
what.
I
That
don't think
one's
these other
probably
ones
next
have
for
multiple
me.
people that
Yeah.
are likely.
And that's why, like, looking at it, I'm like, who do I think could do that? I don't know. Like, do I think Tyson Campbell could get that amount?
High of 3 in his career.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know?
why. And you also have to stay healthy, and that's been a big thing with
Yep.
Tyson Campbell. So, but I do. That one's hard. When I saw the post earlier on Twitter when you originally posted, I was like, this is a difficult question, honestly, because I feel like all of them seem a little bit out of reach, but that's just because of what's happened the last few years.
If we could take one, we'd clearly take touchdown passes.
Definitely.
I mean, by a mile, we'd take touchdown
Like, and even
passes.
going through it, we were discussing how likely we thought they all were as we were going. And even with Josh Hines Allen being the most likely, and both of them, it was like a little over 30%.
Yeah, like a third of the time, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Like, it's a low probability on all of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that it's hard, even when you go around the league, how many guys are getting 8 interceptions. That number is really hard to hit anyways.
Almost no one.
And
9
so that is
guys
difficult.
since 2000 have had 10 or more.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy thing to do. And also, how is this secondary? There's a lot of questions in the secondary of what it's even going to look like. I think, to Tony's point, it was more so I just kind of went down that list and I was like, I don't know.
I would say that if they drafted Travis Hunter and he was nothing but a corner and you had
maybe
Tyson
excuse
or
that.
Travis full time there, then maybe I'd feel differently. Anyway, what's coming up on your show?
Yeah, so it's funny because we've kind of had this conversation, obviously, a lot about Travis Hunter. And most people that you talk to around the league or any of the lists, the biggest moves the Jags made outside of coaching changes and James Gladstone is Travis Hunter. And that's, to me, I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, that's both sides of the ball, too, that you're looking at Travis Hunter to factor in and be a big change the game a little bit. And I know James Gladstone said very vocal words about how he can change the whole game as a whole in the NFL. But we're going to look a little bit around both leagues, the NFC, the AFC, kind of see what players to us we think are going to make the biggest impact on offense and defense on some of the other teams, because we have talked so much about the one guy here that can make that impact on both sides of the ball. So what does that look like around the league? We're going to do that. We're going to look at Pete Prisco's top 100, see if there's any other guys, Jaguars, we think should be on there, any players we don't think deserve to be on there. So yeah, a lot of more Jags talk, actually.
All right. Enjoy, and we'll be listening.
Thank you.
Thank you. There you go. Taylor Dahl with Helmets and Heels coming up for the next couple of hours. That'll do it for us today. For Tony and Dylan, I'm Mike Dempsey. We appreciate you listening to Jaguars Today. Back at it again tomorrow from 10 to noon right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Maxwell House coffee will live on.